Hello, it's Chaplain73 here. You're with me again today for another interview. I'm joined by Nathan and Noah, aka Background Bob. I'm going to learn a little bit more about Nathan and Noah and the Background Bob project. So, hi Nathan, how you doing? Hi Noah.
Hello mate, you alright?
Yeah, not bad. So, tell us, who are you? What do you do? And where are you based?
Most importantly, this guy is Noah. He's aka Background Bob. I'm his sidekick, Nathan, his dad. We live in a little village in Essex. I'm a painter and decorator, but obviously off work right now and far too busy with the Background Bob project.
Yeah. I should imagine it has kept you busy. So tell me a bit more about the Background Bob project. What have you learned from the process, from the inception, going through to the book and the exhibition, and whatever else it's got in store for you?
Well, the biggest lesson for me personally is I need to be a bit more organised. Anyone who knows me knows I'm just terribly unorganised, and running a huge project, which it ended up being, has then caused its own pitfalls of me having to redo stuff and learn spreadsheets, learn Instagram, learn Zoom calls like this. But it's been an enjoyable process. We've, it started off as a very, very small little project. I hope some of the guys that I met at previous paint festivals would maybe join in, and we really actually expected only about 10 pieces to be returned. Which ended up blowing up to over 240 pieces, which we weren't expecting at all. It's given us a lovely focus. It's given us a lovely routine to do during the day. We paint maybe 10, 15 a day, send them out to artists, then wait for them to come back. The only stipulation was obviously you give me an address, you get a background, and little man would paint you one, send it out to you, then wait for you to return it. And it became a beautiful thing. The receiving of them was something we really, really appreciated during the dark times. It was quite sort of scary for us. We were completely shielding him. We were all off school, off work, and weren't going anywhere. And so that little ray of joy every day when the post turned up was amazing. It was truly a beautiful thing. The backgrounds actually turning back up to us, because obviously we didn't know what we were getting every day. We didn't know who had sent those back. Some artists give us a heads up and post them on social media. Some people just sent them back to us without saying. So that was lovely. It was a surprise every day. And it actually brought us together as a family. We all got involved. My eldest son also had to teach me how to use Instagram, because it was something that I didn't really use. Still probably can't use it very well either. I'm a bit of I use social media to, mainly to laugh and joke with my friends, and that was it really. I don't sort of get involved in too much other stuff. And Instagram for us was just something that we looked at, and I subscribe to lots of artists on Instagram, and it was just something to, scroll through and kind of appreciate and talk to artists mainly. So it was a good little outlet for us, and it really helped the project grow a lot bigger than we thought it was going to.
So it suddenly exploded into this bigger thing than you thought it was going to be. Obviously, you've had a book, you've had an exhibition, you've got an auction coming up. What have you learned from all that?
I'll tell you what, we've learned that there's tiny little ideas, if you kind of work hard at them, can really become a really big idea. I think the secret behind our project was some of it was maybe timing. Kind of everyone was stuck at home, and a lot of artists were feeling uninspired, and I think feeling uncreative. I think they were kind of stuck in a rut. Quite a few guys were, and our project came along at the right time. But also, it's for a great cause. It's for a great kid, and that love shown by all of the artists who contributed will forever be appreciated by us. This project has left a beautiful legacy for our little boy. If nothing else, we have a little book on our bookshelf with all of these beautiful collaborations. There's pictures of our son in it, but also that book is also sat on your shelf. I can see behind you.
Yeah, up here.
Yep. But we're also hearing stories of, last night we were laying in bed and a woman in Vietnam messaged me and just said, my book has just arrived. So it's quite surreal to think that I think at the last count, the book has gone to 27 different countries.
Wow.
So it seems like it's been a long year working on it all. But the payoff has been huge. And then the exhibition came along, which was great. It brought a lot of joy to our hometown. It gained a lot of lovely posts from Instagram where people were going visiting. We had a lot of schools go and visit it when they're allowed to, and it was just kind of gaining momentum. And then obviously we had our third lockdown, and it kind of shut it all off. And in a way, we're not too bitter about that. It's kind of COVID started all this, and it kind of in a way seemed fitting that COVID kind of ended it all again. But people got to see it, I think, and it was online. It was a lovely thing to go and see.
Yeah, I saw a couple of videos of it online. Obviously, I couldn't get up to see it, but it looked amazing. It all looked amazing all together. It was just I was quite blown away by it, and I feel quite humbled to have been part of it, because there was a real sense of community that it created amongst the artists.
Definitely.
And as much as you looked forward to the post coming through the door, I think we all looked forward to seeing what everybody else was creating. And it was just a real
it
was a lovely closeness, at a time when we couldn't be close. Obviously paint events were being cancelled across the board, and there weren't many paint events last year, and to have something like the Background Bob project going on, I mean, I think it was brilliant, and I'd like to say thank you to you guys for coming up with it, because it was just a brilliant thing, and great to be part of. And I think most of the artists that I've spoken to feel exactly the same. I know Suzanne Phillips. She lives not far from me. We've had a conversation about this, and the discovery of new artists through the project. It was all just a great feeling of community, which was really needed at that point.
There's been loads of lovely little sidelines to it. That community feel wasn't initially kind of a thought at the beginning. Like I said, it was a pretty much kind of just a little social media thing to do, just to see who would engage. And we never thought it would go as big as this. But the community feel and the love for the project was really humbling for us. We got messages from families who at 5 o'clock every day logged onto our Instagram account to see what had come in, and they sat around with their kids. And
oh wow!
And little stories like that were just really, really nice. We as well as the artwork being sent along. Obviously, lots of artists sent little letters. Lots of artists sent lots of artwork for him. I mean, he has a huge exhibition in his own bedroom right now of all the artwork sent along. It's a better art collection than any of us. And it was really lovely how everyone came together. One of our favourite things was, like you just mentioned, the ability for other people to discover new artists. We were very, very happy and willing to pump the new artists. Kind of if they were active on Instagram, was to share their work, to get those participating artists out there some credit and also some exposure. At a time when when, like I said, when all their jobs have been cancelled and they weren't particularly being supported by the government, and they weren't earning any money. It was a lovely thing to do for them to give up their time, and hopefully it kind of gave them some exposure. I see sort of little trickles of people interacting with each other who didn't know each other before. There's been a few collaborations I've noticed, and there's been a lot of work kind of bought from artists involved, from people who are following. So, we were very happy to share the love. It's really important for us to show the support for the artists. One thing that we've done quite a lot of press, as and they heavily edit everything, and it's lovely that you don't. And it's very nice for us to really have the opportunity to say a massive thank you to all of the artists, first of all, who got involved. you really all came forward for us and produced some spectacular pieces of work, really diverse, really different, really interesting. And as that grew, it was really nice to see kind of what was coming through the door each day. And also just all of the people in the background. We had a team. There isn't just me and him working at this. There was a team that was including my own family, but we had Angela Parks come forward and help us with a hell of a lot of the admin, and she was a massive driving force for all of the logistics and the paperwork side and the spreadsheets, which is something that she loves and I really hate. We had the photography all done by our wedding photographer for the book, which was and she was very happy to get involved. And then we had Tony Stiles come forward and put together a truly beautiful book. I think he's done it really well. He designed the front cover. I think he's done a really nice job. He got the feel of the project straight away, which was really important for us. Like everyone did. I think everyone got on board with it, understood from the beginning kind of what it could be. And really all played their part, and that whole community spirit for us is just perfect.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things there. I mean, Angela is a force to be reckoned with, anyway, and the diversity of the art that is within the book is just, like you say, you turn over the pages and you've seen such different art. It's all together in one book, but it's all brought together. It all like kind of knits together like a tapestry because of the backgrounds. It's instantly recognizable as Background Bob's collaborations, but it just all comes together really beautifully. And the book, like you say, is fantastic. I ordered mine and I had it for Christmas, and I was so looking forward to Christmas Day opening it. And actually, even though I'd seen a lot of the images online, it was just nice to have the book in my hand and flick through it.
Yeah, it was very different, actually. I mean, obviously I dealt with the project all the way through the beginning, so we had the artwork in our house and we looked at it a lot, and when we had friends come around, when they were able to, we kind of got the artwork out and showed them, and then I dealt with the book, and I was seeing the artwork so much all the time, and it got to a little bit of a point where the book was finished that I just couldn't look at it anymore. All of the images, I mean, I could tell you every artist and their Instagram handle just by looking at the picture. It became something that, there's so much editing involved to get the book spot on. But then when the gallery opened, it just refreshed the whole thing, seeing them in their true light and true life, getting the texture and getting the thickness of the paint and the brush strokes and the materials used was really different. And still now I still see things that again for the first time. And we were very conscious about kind of not making the book like a massive art overload, and Tony worked really hard to make the book flow really nicely, like you said, to bring it all together in a way that it wasn't, you weren't just kind of flicking through the pages to get through. You kind of wanted to look at every picture. I think he did a spot on job.
Mission accomplished, I would say.
I hope you didn't get too many spoilers though before Christmas, before you opened your book.
No, nothing could have spoiled it. It was just having the actual book in my hands, and knowing that I'd been part of it, and knowing that so many people that I know had been part of it as well. And just seeing their art with a load of new stuff that I'd never seen before.
We were really surprised by the amount of people who came forward, and obviously the diversity and also the caliber of some of the artists who were involved, and we're really happy with the huge eclectic mix. I mean, we've had artists who have said to me that I've been trying for years to collaborate with that artist, and you've managed to collaborate with 240 of them, which is it's no mean feat. But it's amazing what artists do for a great cause. At the beginning of all of this, I noticed that it was the artists who were bringing a lot of sort of bright light to the world. I saw lots of the artists that I regularly follow and admire getting involved in NHS campaigns. I know all the Southsea crew took over all of the billboards down there and brightened up the place. And at a time when they were all at work and being unsupported, they were still trying to bring some joy to some dark times for lots of people. And it definitely kept me engaged, and I wanted to follow them.
I think we often forget how important art is to a community. People just think, they kind of write artists off, which is a shame, because everything in the world, was thought up and designed and by somebody with some form of creativity. Which leads us right into the next question. During the lockdown, what other stuff have you been doing to be creative, and how do you think creativity has helped you and your family through the last 12 months?
Now we sort of are quite a creative family. I mean, we kind of have to be sometimes with him. I mean, he likes a lot of tactile kind of games. It's very important for him to sort of touch and feel and smell stuff. So we're constantly kind of doing that children's presenter role of coming up with things. And my wife tends to sort of do it more in a teaching and educational role, and I tend to do it more in the stupid clown dad role. But it tends to be a great happy medium for us.
Noah recognised Noah recognised the phrase "clown dad." Then,
yeah, he does. Yeah. Yes, I think I'm his I'm his monkey. I think sometimes he looks at me and says, "Go on, monkey, make me laugh."
Brilliant.
So yeah, and we've got involved in certain projects. We early on, Corp, a good friend of mine and friend of yours, opened up his Corp Academy, which he was running previous to this, but in his studio, and obviously had to then switch to online. We quickly jumped on his Corp Academy. I mean, I love Corp. I think he's a lovely guy, great artist, a heart of gold, and if I can support him in any way, I definitely will. We're big fans of his. So we joined the Corp Academy, where he teaches us to draw every week, and with Poscas and pro markers, and we have a laugh. He then opened up a 8 o'clock club, which was brilliant because it was like an adults only one, so we could have a few beers and talk a bit more naughtily, which was a real good laugh, and that's kind of gained momentum now, and he's got a good crowd of regulars. Really nice. I think it's a really nice thing to do. And I think also we then looked online to join other little art clubs. There was little art competitions running. Lots of the artists were doing little colouring in competitions of their artwork, and sometimes we never even sent them off as part of the competition, but we all did one anyway, just for an afternoon of something to do. We're part of the For the Love of Money art group, so we kind of dabble in and out of that every now and then, and so the art world has certainly kept us entertained during lockdown, but also it's been just a lovely thing to follow artwork. I think, like you said, it brings so much joy to people, so much happiness, and even if it is just a minute of not looking at another COVID conversation or a COVID news link on social media, but just someone just promoting, during these dark times, I've knocked out this beautiful piece of work and have a look at it, and that was really important for us.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I mean, Corp, like you say, he's a legend, and I think his Corp Academy has helped a lot of people through the last 12 months. He's got a lovely nature. He's got
a lovely nature. I think kind of the way he deals. He's very patient, and obviously he's very, very good at what he does. So we're very happy to support him. It's Corp Club became a highlight for us when my wife came home. She brought home a huge roll of paper, a huge ream of paper that's like a metre deep, and it was about 15 metres long. And every week we drew something from his class on it, and we've kept that a timeline of lockdown. And it's something that we'll kind of treasure. It's kind of quite nice. We rolled it all out actually the other night just to take some photos for Corp, and you forget how long we've been doing it. And how much we've learned. The first drawings were pretty terrible by me anyway. My wife's an art teacher, so hers are brilliant straight away. But and it was a really nice thing to see and to keep as a memento from. Hopefully we won't remember this whole situation as being a dark time. We've been pretty busy, and we've produced something really beautiful with everyone else helping us, and so. I wouldn't say we've had a nice lockdown, but it's certainly helped, and it's been a lovely moment in history for us as a family, at least.
But I think again we come back to that sense of community, isn't it? It's that finding other people who have shared values, shared interests, and connecting with them in a way that's possible. Like I said to you before this call, you know, if we'd have been in lockdown 10, 15 years ago, none of this technology would have been available, and it would have been a very, very different experience. But fortunately, we're at a point where the technology is at a point where we can communicate and we can see each other through screens, and it's not the same, but it is something at least. And you know, we've got to make it what we will.
Yeah, I mean, I've personally made quite a lot of new friends through all of this. I mean, you know, I'm quite sort of chatty with a lot of the artists, but kind of, you know, with every collaboration and every piece of artwork sent back, you know, came a conversation at some point. You know, and some points I was having 3 or 4 way conversations with various artists who wanted to know a bit more about the project, or just a bit more about Noah. You know, there's lots of personal conversations that I've ended up having which have since developed into, you know, kind of friendships. You know, it's hard to sort of, I mean, I would define a friendship that if I have a beer with you, then, you know, kind of like we're friends, but it's just changed the way that has happened. It's, you know, I've become very close to a lot of the people who have who contributed and who followed, and, you know, who are fans of the project, who bought books. And, you know, hopefully those friendships will continue, and one day we can go and have a beer.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah.
So if you, personally, Nathan, if you could spend 24 hours with any other artist that's ever lived, whether they're alive or dead now, who would you choose and why?
Do you know what I'd do? I would get in my car, I'd go and pick a corp up, and I'd drive down to Southsea, and I'd spend the day with my dog Size. I think those two people are, you know, they're two of my favourite people. They're two of my favourite artists. Got a lot of time for both the guys. They've got, you know, big hearts. They do a lot for their communities. They're forever giving. You know, they've got a lovely nature about them, and I just love spending time with those kind of people. And also, I know Paul's very busy with his projects, and I'd definitely love to go down there and help him out in some kind of way if possible. Be nice to be involved in his project that's up and coming soon, in some kind of way. But also, you know, I think it'd be nice just to have a beer and have a chat. I really appreciate being around creative people. I think creativity breeds creativity. I'm physically, I'm not particularly creative. I kind of probably have the ideas more than the execution. But you know, being around them kind of, you know, it inspires me to want to be more creative in you know, in whatever way that is. Yeah.
Completely get that. I was lucky enough to spend a day with Corp actually at his studio. So I've only met Paul once when he was painting a rather large red van in a corner of a car park. I've missed him at all the other events, but it seems like a lovely bloke, and you know, I completely understand where you're coming from for wanting to spend a day with two such creative people. So what's in store for the future? Do you have any plans that you can share with us today? I know you've got the auction coming up.
Yes, we're busily working on that right now. That's a huge admin task. You know, we were kind of hoping that more people would be involved, but obviously COVID regulations have stopped volunteers at hospitals and things getting involved, which was the original plan. So it's all been sort of dumped on our team, which is fine, but it's just a lot more work than we thought it was going to be. I mean, just simply listing 240 separate items on eBay is a mammoth task as it is.
Yeah,
but you know, we just want to make sure that it's all done correctly and right, and you know, everyone's kind of getting credits, and you know, it's important for us to maximize the exposure and the you know, how much money is raised from this project. You know, we've already raised £18,000 from the book, which the charity had already. We, you know, have no idea how much the auction is going to raise. I mean, I'm very excited. If I could fast forward till the end of the auction just to see, I would. But that's keeping us very busy at the moment. But there are some little sideline projects which has come from the project. There's been a couple of artists who have got in touch who want to do their own personal collaborations with Background Bob, which has been somewhat strange, but also really, really lovely. I can't mention any names yet because we're sort of keeping that a secret, but there's some high profile guys kind of getting involved in doing some painting with him, and they'll be releasing some prints and some original artwork from what's going on. We are, really, really considering doing background Bob too. I think there's a need for it. I think there's a want for it. I think there's definitely enough artists to want to get involved. Our team behind us has grown slightly, and we have a few more people who are quite high up in the art world, kind of wanting to get involved, to offer contact lists and the sort of foot in the door with certain artists. So I think it'd be a real shame to not do it. I think we've gained a good amount of followers on social media. There's been a lot of interest after the cut-off date, and we really like the inclusivity of it all. We like the idea that there's some real big name guys out there, but there's also the teacher from the local school has ended up in the same book. I think it was that was really nice for us that the big artists were just as proud to take part as the little artists and the lesser known artists, but for them to be in an exhibition or a book or whatever we produce next was a really cool thing for them and their families. So it's another sort of spin-off that's come from the project. Kind of they took their families along to go and see the exhibition, and then went, "Oh, well, I'm next to My Dog Size." I think it was. I think that was really special that managed to happen. So we are working on it in the background to see kind of what we can do, what we can come up with. Try and keep exactly the same vibe of the project. It's really important for me to not change it too much. I think I like the fact that it's open to everyone and anyone, and we didn't pick and choose artists the first time round. The only sad thing we had to do was obviously cap it at some point, because it was getting out of hand. yeah. In a lovely way, but we didn't want too many because we had to do something with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd go into this one with your eyes open, wouldn't you? You'd know that it's not going to be 10 artists, and you'd know that it's probably going to lead on to another book and another exhibition, and you'd have a lot more knowledge going into it.
I think our initial plan is to replicate the project and produce another book. I think there's another book there, I think, to be done. I think there's a list of artists who I think we could easily do the same kind of size book again. I think that anything bigger than that kind of becomes like an art directory and a bit more of a trawl through. And I mean, it was something that when we were designing the book that we kind of had to sort of cap it at a certain number, because we wanted it to be an enjoyable process to the end. And I think I think we gauged that amount just right to want to keep turning the page instead of turning the pages just to kind of get to the end. And so I think we will probably do another book. As far as the exhibition is concerned and stuff, I mean that kind of fell in our laps and also was slightly hounded on social media a little bit. I think they kind of gave in where we just kept on hounding the gallery. But it was lovely that we got an exhibition. We can't guarantee an exhibition this time, but maybe that through the project we get those offers come through. Whilst it's all running.
I mean, who knows? I mean, the UK collab guys who something to do with the love of money may have a big space for you to exhibit.
Yes.
Who knows? So,
they've been very interested. Actually, they've been very supportive throughout the whole project. It's been really nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about these things. You never know quite where they're going to go, and who involved has got connections with something that you're not aware of that might just come into play that you weren't, that you never knew. Obviously, at the start of this process, you expected 10 paintings to come back and you to just stick them on your lounge wall, and it's gone from something very small to something very big very quickly, which is great.
I mean that having so many people involved, obviously as it grew, more and more people got involved, and more and more people messages saying, you know, we could do this, and we could do this for it, and we could do this. And it was nice for us to be able to open doors. You know, I mean, at the beginning we had no press coverage whatsoever.
Yeah.
And my local landlord, Tom, who is always on the news doing something, you know, he's a very good community member. He's always doing something. And so he's on the local news quite a lot. And he just said, oh, well, you know, the BBC correspondent who does the website drinks in my pub. You know, why don't I just give her a call? And, you know, just those little door opens really helped us at the beginning, because, you know, we were kind of sitting around thinking, oh, why hasn't sort of somebody picked this up? And actually kind of, you have to sort of chase things sometimes. And, you know, for every offer that we accepted, there was, you know, another 5 offers on the table, and we had to kind of, you know, I was very naive at the beginning. I was just like, yes, yes, yes. And it kept us like probably a little bit too busy at the beginning, to the point where, you know, I was becoming quite stressful because I was working at the same time. So I was going to work, but then having to answer sort of, you know, 30 emails a day, kind of, it just takes time, and I wasn't used to it, and I'm not organised enough for stuff like that. So it was a big shock. But this time, I think we're kind of like, you know, got our heads out of the sand a little bit more. I was probably the weak link in the organisational side of it all, and that's something that I've definitely worked on to, you know, just try and improve if we go ahead, which I think we will.
Yeah. Well, it's been great spending some time with you and hearing what you've got to say about Background Bob project and everything. And I hope Noah's enjoyed himself. We got a smile? Yeah.
He's probably hungry now.
Yeah, we got a smile. That's enough for me. If that's all that you wanted to say regarding future plans, then that's brilliant. I've really enjoyed today. I've really enjoyed speaking with you and learning about the Background Bob project. So thank you very much for spending some time with me.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll have that beer one day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got to at some point.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Nathan and Noah, aka Background Bob. If you like what you've watched and heard today, then please subscribe to my channel by hitting the link below, and I will join you very soon for another interview. I look forward to joining you there. Cheers.